Greetings there, executive team of Presage Biosciences. This is Team 4 from the Practicum in Biotechnology Enterprise and Entrepreneurship course at Johns Hopkins University, made up of team members Joanna Ferguson, Angela Knight, Natasha Zuves, and myself, Tevin Ali. It is our pleasure to present to you a comprehensive business strategy analysis of your company and the current situation you are facing. In overview, this is how our business analysis presentation will be structured. First, we will dive into a brief summary of this project plan and introduce the problem statement our team has identified and will be addressing in this presentation. Then, the bulk of this presentation will focus on the discussion of strategic modeling, market research, and strategic recommendations our team has laid out to solve your company's situation. In brief summary, to our team's understanding, Presage Biosciences has been pushing to make its mark in the field of oncology. The CIVO platform is an elegant technology with the potential to revolutionize the way oncology drugs are developed and arm biotech and pharma companies with crucial information in the phase 0 setting, allowing them to move into clinical trials with greater knowledge and accuracy, thus saving time and money. The purpose of this business strategy analysis is to provide an informed outside perspective look at how Presage is performing now and how it is perceived by potential clients in order to identify possible stumbling blocks and ultimately provide useful recommendations to aid in Presage's success. To the executive team at Presage, if there is 30 minutes that will provide your team with powerful market and customer insight needed to shift your company's projection, this is it. Let's get started. Our team looked at Presage's current situation and cross-analyzed it layer by layer and came to understand the situation from the viewpoints of leadership, where we see the executive team possesses a wealth of technical knowledge in the biopharma sector and what is being done in terms of marketing strategy and where the company stands in regards to finance, regulatory, legal, and ethical aspects. This leads us to the problem scenario and problem statement we have identified. Presage is now at a crossroads. The company has partnered with two huge corporate companies, Celgene and Takeda, but is facing the challenge of generating new business. While potential clients seem intrigued, they are failing to see the potential value of CIVO or fully understand how it could tangibly benefit their company. Presage is failing to garner investor buy-in and is lacking in data-driven proof of the concept. Currently, to our understanding, Presage has enough capital to survive until the end of 2020, but faces the challenge of needing to generate new business quickly. We believe that Presage is consistently failing to demonstrate the value of the CIVO platform to potential clients. From a market and value proposition standpoint, we know that CIVO is a brilliant technology, but what can it do for the client's bottom line? This leads us to our problem statement our team will address in this presentation. How can Presage become profitable with its CIVO platform before funding runs out in 24 months? To address the problem statement we identified, our team engaged in strategic modeling, interviewed external experts, as well as performed market research, where we pitched the CIVO platform anonymously to a real-world client to get to the root of the real reasons as to why clients are passing up on such a potentially valuable opportunity, and to validate our theories and identify any other challenges that is serving as a barrier to the success of Presage. We suspect in our thesis that Presage needs to develop a comprehensive marketing plan and strategy, as well as truly embrace the value of commercialization rather than resting on the current emphasis on technology. Additionally, Presage must identify other methods of building credible trust with potential buyers, other than having strong data, which is still preferable but currently not an option. Let's start with modeling. First, our team generated a traditional SWOT analysis based on our initial conversation with Presage, reflecting on the perceived strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities, by which we have synthesized into the following key points. The specific items we highlighted in our SWOT analysis were in relevance to the marketing situation. The critical weaknesses that were identified were mainly the insufficient attention paid to marketing, defining the market segmentation for SIBO, as well as the pitch deck failing to convey how this platform will help potential clients and what specific costs it will save them. If the value of SIBO is not clearly defined, you cannot expect your clients to understand the value. Now, while there is no specific threat of an identical competitor for the SIBO platform, we must remember that a competitor is anyone taking away a dollar from the market that SIBO can impact. That includes the status quo, traditional preclinical testing. This means that there must be clear communication and demonstrated value of SIBO to the customer. Potential clients in the preclinical testing space may not even be aware of the problems a device like SIBO can solve, and making them aware of the issue through tailored effective marketing will be key. Fortunately, these weaknesses and threats can easily be harnessed into strengths and opportunities. As we have synthesized from the SWOT, a critical point that was identified from the model was to effectively communicate the value of the SIBO platform to potential customers. Building on the SWOT, our team then generated a 4 actions framework, which is a model that works to tackle the issue of addressing perceived value of the SIBO platform in relevance to the industry by emphasizing that this product will help clients get results that will correlate with human trials later on, in addition to getting clients to realize that this device could lead them to save money that they would have spent on a compound that may have ultimately failed at or near the end game. Let's quickly break this down. When looking at elimination, we must ask, what factors do the industry take for granted that should or could be eliminated? Well, this model puts into perspective that by using the SIBO platform, the client would eliminate the need for the reliance on animal testing that would not give definite results of any compound working in the complex microenvironment of the human body. When looking at creation, we pose the question, which factors should be created that the industry has never offered? Again, this model frames where SIBO comes in the industry. Creation of a patented platform consisting of a microinjector with fluorescent tracking microspheres that enables intratumoral microdosing of 8 candidate combinations creates the ability to see how a drug will work in the complex human microenvironment early on. Now looking at the action framework for reduce. Which factors should be reduced well below industry standards? Well, the most decisive factor for a potential client would be to reduce the risk heading into further clinical trials that involve human patients by identifying a go or no-go scenario. Even though this would cancel further testing of a compound, it would be a valuable asset to identify early on if a compound would not work, and thus eliminate wasteful spending. And lastly, with this model, which factors should be raised well above industry standards? Well, in addition to the risk mitigation, the model identifies the need to raise the aspect of the SIBO platform in helping to determine the right patient population that will be most responsive to the compound being tested. With a few conclusions drawn from what the strategic models identified to us on the need to develop a comprehensive marketing strategy as well as truly embrace the value of commercialization, we then reached out to several external experts to gain insight and feedback regarding Presage's current pitch deck, messaging strategy, and other strategies to see if there were any correlation and validation between our theories and any other challenges that is serving as a barrier of success to Presage. The experts we reached out to hail from different areas of expertise and include Samuel Schaffner, a legal and investor pitch deck expert, Dr. Greg Kelly, an expert in vivo testing, Dr. Anthony Schwartz, an expert in finance and cancer therapeutics, and finally, an anonymous client from a therapeutics company. All right, so we will highlight each expert's feedback one by one. Let's start with Mr. Schaffner. So Mr. Schaffner's initial response to Presage's pitch deck was that it was too focused on the science and not one bit on the business. He compared it to as reading an instruction manual. This consultation got us to take note on the missing pieces of key strategic messaging, such as primarily addressing the customer needs, such as what is the value proposition? How is SIVO better, faster, and cheaper? What is the value of SIVO to the customer? How is SIVO better than current drug screening platforms out there? And can this be summed up in a single or a few pitch deck slides? Mr. Schaffner also felt that in the absence of strong data, adding a glowing testimonial quote from one of Presage's current partners would help bolster credibility in the pitch deck. These points that Mr. Schaffner suggested supports our thesis that Presage's target market strategy and product value is not clear. The discussion with Dr. Kelly was based on the value of the SIVO platform and an in vivo oncology drug development market. Like Schaffner, Dr. Kelly believes the market is not clear enough. From the pitch deck, he was unclear as to what the market Presage was going for, CROs, personalized medicine, or something else entirely. The last key thing that he noted was the lack of data needed to prove credibility against SIVO's current price point offering, as he believes the current price point offering for SIVO is too high for the data they have on hand to prove the value of SIVO. These points that Dr. Kelly suggested further supports our thesis that Presage's target market and product value is not clear. Our consultation with Dr. Schwartz also garnered express bewilderment, as he was unsure what the company was going for based on the initial view of the pitch deck, also portraying similar comments to Mr. Schaffner. Dr. Schwartz feels that the slide deck is insufficient from an investor standpoint, and the same questions were raised. Who is the customer? Who would buy this and why? How is this better than anything else out there? How is this better than current drug screening platforms? The insight that Dr. Schwartz pointed out further supports our thesis that Presage's target market and product value is not clear. The input from our external experts all independently came to some shared conclusions, notably that the pitch deck strategy fails to address customer value. Upon noting this from our three external experts, our team got together to answer the questions the experts were asking in regards to market segmentation, how SIVO is filling a need in a market, and clearly communicating what SIVO is, as we started to do as shown here in this slide. Our market research shows that competitors of Presage are the top pharmaceutical companies, one being the client Celgene. The top competitors have been identified as Roche, Celgene, Bristol Myers Squibb, and Johnson & Johnson. And as of now, these 10 companies make up around 70 to 80% of the global market in oncology, with an expected decrease of 12% by 2024. Therefore, it's extremely important for Presage to start marketing initiatives to avoid getting into a financial competition with billion-dollar companies who are successful at the traditional way of clinical development. Based on feedback from our outside experts, our market segmentation research, and our situation analysis, our team got together and created a half-page pitch deck clearly communicating SIVO's market and value in preparation to pitch this info to a potential client. In the half page, we made sure to include the clearly defined customer value that the external experts were asking for. The half page covers the following. What problem is SIVO solving? How is SIVO the solution? What value SIVO provides to the stakeholders? And what does the SIVO platform access fee include? Thus clarifying the cost. And we wanted to investigate whether client hesitation was truly due to, one, a resistance to be the first to utilize this innovative technology, and two, the price being too high, especially for smaller biotechs. For our fourth external expert, we sought blunt feedback from a representative real-world customer in order to understand how they perceived the product, their likelihood to sign on the dotted line, and the reason or reasons behind any hesitations they might have based on the presentation of the clear half-page pitch deck. All right, we just want to be clear that our team knows that with market research, pitching to one client is not significant. But within the short time frame we had with this consultant project, we only had time to interview and analyze one representative client. So we reached out to a representative potential client we felt was representative to Presage, a mid-sized biopharma company that we felt is prototypical. We believe the responses generated would be consistent with similar interviews. The feedback should be validated with further interviews, but if found to be accurate, would be in line with the attitude Presage is currently confronting during its pitch meetings. The half page we created was welcomed with ravishing and interest and praise of SIVO. We discussed pricing, and the client felt that 1.8 million is not a lot of money provided that there's proof of the concept. However, it is a lot for a maybe. A suggestion thrown out there was perhaps trying a pricing milestone model would be better for the current situation with limited available data. The client said that data is, of course, priority, but before anything else, give us publications or data showing that this works. And if that is not yet available, the representative client said there were 3 things that could make a difference in getting them to sign on, which includes journal coverage, a low-risk pricing model, and a key opinion leader. So a key quote from the client states that, as of right now, there is a 0% chance that I'd sign on the dotted line. But if you brought in a high-profile KOL, even with immature data, there is a 49% chance that I would sign on the dotted line. All right then, so you heard what the models predicted, where the external experts said you're having missteps, and what a representative customer said they needed. If Presage is to generate business and to avoid a financial cliff at the close of 2020, it will need to demonstrate the marketability and increase the perceived value of its SIVO technology, with a goal of approximately gaining 5 to 6 clients in that time frame. As a result, our team have identified 5 strong key strategic recommendations based on our situation model analysis, market research, and external feedback to help Presage illuminate the best path forward. Our team's key recommendations require developing the following. 1. A strong commercialization strategy. 2. Building trust among prospective buyers. 3. Defining pricing by the perceived value. 4. Improving business development capabilities. And 5. Beginning the development of an internal marketing plan and strategy. After the initial call with Presage Biosciences, we believe that a major project going forward might be redesigning the pitch deck to better highlight client value. We now believe that the pitch deck is a symptom of a larger systemic problem that must be addressed. Presage must not rest on the fact that it has a good concept, which it seems like you do, but rather expand past toting the technology of the platform and delve into developing a clear marketing and commercialization strategy. Buyers aren't signing on because they don't trust the data. they trust the solution. These recommendations will require resources and depend largely on Presage's leadership being daring and open-minded. But we believe that it will result tangible gains, bolstering strengths and mitigating weaknesses, and ultimately the long-term survival of the company. Now, let's break down these recommendations one by one. All right, so in developing a commercialization strategy, the first thing we need to do is create a chief business officer position to handle company marketing. Developing a commercialization strategy will require going beyond hiring for smaller marketing positions. The company must hire professional experience in commercialization and be at the executive level. Presage should seek to onboard an individual who can understand the market's needs and gaps and devise ways to fill it, while also relinquishing control of business to that individual. And ideally, in addition to that, having a small marketing staff who will report to that chief business officer. All right, so adding to commercialization strategy, based on expert opinion and client feedback, our team mocked up the following 5 slides as example additions to the existing pitch deck. The new chief business officer will likely have their own ideas, but this is simply a conceptual place to start. Figure 1. This sample slide is meant to clearly identify the problem or problems in the market that clients face, such as animal testing correlation, clinical trial costs, and real human response, thus clarifying what is the need. Figure 2. This sample slide is meant to clearly identify how SIVO can offer a solution by clearly communicating what is the value in terms of cost and time savings. Figure 3. This sample slide serves the purpose of quickly stating the value add-ins of the technology itself. Figure 4. This sample slide serves the purpose of clearly breaking down a milestone pricing model. We will discuss this in more detail shortly. And figure 5, we recommend creating a slide with a testimonial quote on it. To note, this example must be replaced with a genuine quote. This is as recommended by our external expert, Mr. Schaffner, in an effort to bolster credibility in the absence of definite data. All right, moving on to recommendation number 2, building trust among prospective buyers. So there is a potential opportunity to bring in a consultant who will focus on garnering positive academic press and publication data. Also, consider contacting with a Curry Rockefeller Group or similar vendor that can offer strong publication narrative support. In the absence of data from an investigational product like SIVO, work on building metadata or theoretical data. And lastly, aligning with a key opinion leader to build credibility is key. Let's expand on KOLs real quick. To expand on KOLs, this was a key recommendation that came out of our market research. You'll recall that our representative client said that with a high-profile, trusted KOL alone could boost the probability of signing from 0% to 49%. So here we've compiled a sample list to demonstrate the key competencies in widespread oncology influence that Presage should look for in key opinion leaders. Recommendation number 3, defining pricing by the perceived value. So the pricing strategy must be modified to match value and trust. With its lack of data, Presage has yet to determine value, and therefore, in the client's eyes, no price is worth it. Define the value first, then price. Also, a potential client is more likely to take a chance on unproven technology if they feel there is an exit strategy. So, Presage should utilize a low-risk pricing model. We believe that an aggressive milestone pricing model would be much more attractive to potential clients. An example of this would consist of an agreement upon the set terms of a low-risk pricing model, then charging a $300,000 initiation fee, then obtaining $500,000 after the delivery of initial data through a milestone, and then after another milestone, obtaining another $500,000 after the delivery of validated, meaningful data. Recommendation 4, improving business development capabilities. So to improve business development capabilities, we recommend that Presage segment the market and develop a systematic process to access the world of biopharmaceuticals. Then target the most attractive clients, potential clients. We recommend looking specifically at mid-tier companies with an established pipeline of oncology products who do not have the budget for phase 1 trials on every iteration. A process must be put in place in which a regular marketing strategy and program is created. A professional must then be sent after each promising lead who is armed with a cohesive marketing message and an attractive pricing strategy. Recommendation number 5, marketing internally will serve as your compass. It is a way to tackle any sort of existing morale issues triggered by the recent change in leadership and the resulting uncertainty. We recommend that Presage bring in a management consultant to help tackle systematic issues. Talent management is essential to avoid loss of time, money, and resources. A sound marketing plan and strategy is needed for Presage to continue. Business development and marketing will help attract top-tier leaders of clinical development, product development, and business operations to eventually expand reach and widen potential to then generate new business. Presage should build a marketing team that will be allocated to a potential vice president of business development or chief business officer. With the emphasis on generating new business, the time to start marketing has never been more critical than it is right now. Create this program right now before you hire someone to tackle business development. After general analysis of the recommendations in theoretical financial terms, our team calculated an ROI that will show you the long-term benefits of following these recommendations. The analysis demonstrates that with a significant investment, Presage will see a healthy return on investment. Creating a successful marketing plan starts by doing an in-depth market research and effectively segmenting the market to get the newly redesigned pitch deck in front of the right groups of people. As previously stressed, it is essential to hire a talented chief business officer that will direct those critical items to be completed. These positions are necessary. There absolutely must be an understanding at the highest level that commercialization is a fundamental part of successful marketing of a new product like SIVO. The price to do this may be expensive, but the value will be priceless. With those recommendations fulfilled, Presage will now be able to attain its goal and garner the possibility of ROI exceeding the estimates in the years to follow. In conclusion, if Presage continues on its current trajectory, you will limit yourself in achieving greater levels of success. And already seeing the success of Presage's well-earned partnerships with Celgene and Takeda, and seeing the brilliance of Presage's immensely innovative leadership team, and researching and strategizing for months on how to improve Presage's current situation, we can wholeheartedly tell you that our team only wants the best for Presage in achieving ongoing success with the innovative potential of your SIVO platform, and we highly believe that you can. We just hope that in considering a path forward, Presage takes in the market data and insight we have gathered from your potential customers. You saw what the strategic models identified. where the external expert said you're having missteps, and what a representative customer said they needed from you. Presage must realize the value of commercialization and not simply rest on its remarkable technical knowledge. The focus on technicality alone will kill the company. Focus on your approach now. Your challenge now will be to implement these changes. If Presage acts decisively, it will solve the problem statement our team has identified and increase the likelihood of becoming profitable with its SIVO platform before funding runs out in 24 months. All right, it's been a pleasure working with you, Presage Biosciences. Again, my name is Tevin Ali from Johns Hopkins University, Team 4 of the Practicum in Biotechnology Enterprise and Entrepreneurship course. If you have any questions, contact me via email or feel free to reach out to our instructor.